Well, they're doing it anyway. And the third times really tells them something. Something about this whole industry. And about the games we grew up with. Do they say classic worth saving? Or is it just a name slap on a box? It's called The Legacy of Atlantis, February 12th, 2027. Crystal Dynamics is building it, like the previous Tomb Raider games, with Flying Hawk, also the previous games. But this time, Amazon published it with Unreal Engine 5, so they rebuild it again. And it's supposed to even run on the Switch too. They keep using the same word, like a cover song. Same melody played new. They say the soul is still intact, but they're just words. Big promise, and honestly, I buy most of it, like 80%, but the last 20%, that part was wrecked before with all the previous remakes they did. So, we all were raised on Tomb Raider 1, right? On the PlayStation 1. I was, I think, 12. I'm Koffietank, gaming dad. Let's find out. So, why 3 times? Easy answer. Follow the money. In 2004, 2024, they put out the remastered collection. That got good reviews. In 2024, they put out the remastered collection. That got good reviews. The old games cleaned up and nothing fancy. And the numbers came back very strong. Around 200%, around 230,000 copies sold on Steam alone. And even 85% positive reviews on Steam. So that says a lot. Think about that. A 30-year-old game. That's not a handful of nostalgic dads. That's a real market. So no, they're not out of the ideas. They came back because they never left. But hold on. That's why. Just the why. And the why is the easy part. Like I said, follow the money. The real question is how? Because they made one big promise. And now, for the first time, we can check it out. So, here is the promise in their own words. Keep the soul intact. Nice line. But this week, we got the proof. They dropped the demos, they dropped the reviews, they even dropped a bunch load of videos online and on their own channels. They also made a new YouTube channel. Watch Lara, Watch Tomb Raider, or something like that. Real previews. People played even the demo, and we saw that. And the biggest fear, what was it? Everyone was scared of the same thing. That they blowed it up on a giant open map. Towers everywhere, map markers everywhere, you know the type. I don't know if you played Tomb Raider 1, the remake, the Rise of Tomb Raider. If you try to play it and you check the map, it's like chaos all over the place. So the preview says no, it's still a linear adventure, a path with secrets. The side paths, hidden stuff, really like the original they did. Take the Lost Valley, the level in Peru. The previews call it a miniature sandbox. The cork puzzle is still in there, the water puzzles are in there. Think of a house. They didn't knock the walls down, they just left the doors right open. Same rooms, more ways to move through them. I think it's good. And there's also new stuff, sure. A grapple on the wrist, a slow motion trick in combat, we already know from the previous iterations of Tomb Raider. And of course, my favorite, a skill tree. I think it's light RPG, but which exists, that's we all know. It was locked in the demo, nobody saw it inside. So we didn't see the talents like specifically or what they were mapped around, but I think they will reveal it soon enough. So IGN played it. They say Lara feels right, floaty even. More movement, easier movement. More Prince speech than Nathan Drake. Their words, not really mine. And IGN's verdict, all the necessary ingredients are there. That's their opinion, but still. You know how good the IGN reviews are, guys. So that's the 80% I really believe, and then they got it. But now important, now the 20%. Okay, guys, the 20%, my two biggest worries for the game. Worry one, the story. Reimagining means they all add things. That's me reading between the lines, I guess. But here's why it worries me the most. Originally barely explained anything. And it worked, just raw gameplay. Natal, the villain, she's scary because you barely can see her and you don't know her. The less they show her, the better she gets. That's in all the movies. More modern games love to explain everything. You get backstory, 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 skip, skip, skip. You know how you do it, right? Everyone holds the escape button, right? Modern games love to explain everything. Like I said, every villain gets a sad, sad backstory. Every mystery gets a full explanation. But please, not her. Keep it in the dark. Worry 2, and that's one of the bigger one. They stated in a small line below in the, I think it was in the Steam store, also in the interviews they did with IGN and other Kotaku and other ones. It was the AI talk. So it started as a small line, like I said, in the Steam page. AI tools for early content. Replaced or refined by humans. Their words. And that word, refined, carries a lot of weight. Replace is clear, right? Refined means it stays in. And this week, I really got it real. Jeff Adams, the experienced director, talked to Polygon. And he confirmed it, straight up. They used AI to rough out the early levels, to sketch it out. They picture objects before anyone's built them. Think of architect pencil sketching out the maps and yeah. It was mostly like map design they talked about. So AI is drawing out the rough lines and humans are building the actual house. He says, Adams, is it Adam or Adams? Jeff. Jeffy. Jeff says it helps finds the team the right answers faster. Of course, that's why I say AI helps for. And the final game, made by people, all of it, they say. Look, I work with AI every single day, and I build models, I build agentic AI. I'm not going to pretend the tool is evil. Not really. So no, it's not a game made by AI, but they're definitely looking in it, and they're really using it to sketching out the levels. So they're pre-making or predefining the levels with AI, and then the human refines it. So that's how they say it's going to be used. But they also already read some interviews that they're going to use it for new content, new DLC. So who knows? But yeah. So it's not a game made by AI, so nobody's seriously claiming that. But the question mark is a stamped on the handmade game. So previously everything was sketched out by humans, thinked out. And you had map editors, and level designers. That was one of the most important roles in a game creation. Of course, story and everything is. But if the map doesn't play right, then you can see it on Battlefield and all the other games. If the map is not working, the whole game is not working. So that's why a lot of people are like sketchy about like they may let AI do the first draft. So we'll know when the game's out, or we'll know when we see more like the stuff we've seen before on the demo. So that's my 20% right there. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe I'm just watching. That's my 20% right there. But maybe it's nothing. But maybe I'm. Nee. That's my 20% right there. Maybe it's nothing. But I'm watching. I knew when we played Tomb Raider, the first game on the PlayStation 1, with my brother in the Lost Valley. I was 12. Nowhere, my brother said, "It's a dino!" And the T-Rex came, and I screamed, "What the fuck is that?" And you had to kill it with the two pistols, you know. You had the jump and gun thingy, like the roll shooty. So there was a giant T-Rex in the game, and we didn't suspect that there was anything except for the tigers and the lions you had to kill. If you played it, you know what I mean. Here's the thing: that game explained really nothing. 3 continents just threw you in there, and you had to figure it out yourself. That's how the game were those days. That's why we never forget it. It was your own journey. You had to figure it out. You had to really figure it out yourself. And Natal really reveals this so hard because the game kept quiet the whole time. I trust a 12-year-old kid, and I trust it's the whole game. Now, here's what I got this week. The preview showed me the T-Rex. We always saw it in the preview. They rebuilt it, the exact moment that made me scream. It's a whole case now. Playable, you run, slow motion kicks in, and at the end of the rope bridge, of course, the cliffhanger. No more standing still, no more shooting at the dinosaur. 30 years later, it still got me again. Conclusion: they're not just rebuilding a game, they're rebuilding my memory and all the memories you have with the game, right? So, picture a tower of blocks. My kids build these all the day. This game, it's the bottom of the block. One timeline stands on top of it. Every future plan stacks on top of it. So, and also they said in the demo, this is just a starting point. So every future plan stacks on top that. And if the bottom block cracks, the whole tower comes down. We all know how that works. So this is just not one little remake. It's the foundation of everything they will build, and that's also confirmed in the video. So, the real question, why bet this big on a 30-year-old game? So why are they betting this big on a 30-year-old game? Is it pure nostalgia they hope for? Okay guys, let's zoom all the way out, because it was never just about Tomb Raider, right? It's the whole industry figured something out. Old games make money. Here's the number 1 from Steam last year. 40% of all PC playtime went from games like 80 rules or even older. 40%, almost a half on Steam, is all on old games, carrying almost half of the PC gaming. So back to my question from the start, a classic worth saving or just a name on the box? Love or logo? Here's my honest answer. Everything we can back to today. Everything we can check today points to love. The linear levels, the card puzzles, the secrets, they kept the things only fans would miss. A cash grab doesn't rebuild card puzzles and all the other things they do. It doesn't replace the actor. They don't redo everything they want. Voice acting, even if you saw how many facial animations and also the animation team they're working on, and even with the motion capturing, it's crazy, man. How much money and time they put in the game already now. So, and remember, 230,000 of us already told them we never left. They just checked the Steam reviews from the old remake and the trilogy, and they saw like, this is a huge market. So it's not crazy that they go for like this, like the remake, reimagining is like the building block. They build everything on it, and that's why they said this is just a start. So the question was never, can they remake it? Of course they can. The question was, do they get it? And for the first time in years, I think they do. So, closing part. So Am I hopeful? Yeah, carefully hopeful. For the first time since the PlayStation 1 days, it feels like someone treats the old disc like their heritage. Not like a logo, not like something slapped on a box. No, I really want them to pull. So, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!